Yeah.
and to find out which of the various injuries on my body he's responsible for.
I quickly
And
gotta
then, and
check
then
something.
eye for an eye kicks in.
Oof.
I will be gone for like roughly 2 to 3 more minutes. I'll be right back.
Oh god.
Well, we normally start at 6 anyway.
Yeah, we got some time, dude. We got some time.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
see.
but you agree, eye for an eye so well.
Dude, I am feeling that at any moment I could just pass out. So have you seen my stream? The title. Just look in the herald when it comes up.
No, I'm not looking at that. Where is this?
And server herald, you know.
Oh, Survey Herald.
Okay, why is my Oh god.
For some reason, it's showing the map with, unless it's just
Something
oh,
else?
I know. I just realized that might be why it's gone weird with the Survey Herald thing, because it's showing the current stream on the as the preview image for all your Twitch videos
Huh. Sus.
on Discord. It's set for the Season 33 Prisoners of Panama.
Really?
Yeah, it's all showing today's one.
Did it actually not show up? No, it's actually pretty good, pretty chill. Let's see.
Why is my noise suppression on? Show this so you can see what I mean.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
As you can see what I mean, it's showing today's thing.
Oh no, it's fine. But also, the fucking thing is like session 69. Nice.
I noticed.
Fine, damn it. I just want to make sure that everything is fine. I just feel like. A second, I am gonna just gonna actually just do this one.
Yeah, that should suffice.
Just want to do something in Discord before I actually accidentally fuck it up.
Has anyone heard anything about Mr. K recently?
I heard about him a few weeks ago.
Just saw the image that is still like 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 5 characters.
Give me a second. Yep. Okay, just gonna. Okay. Okay, so.
I bet it's a long I don't know. It's a long rest.
Oh, it's the fact that my fucking GIF is first time. Because it's gonna be a first time. Because fucking session 69. So before we continue on, let's just say our funny jokes. 69, nice. Clap, clap.
Nice.
Yes. Very nice.
So we can get it out of the system. But I feel like it's gonna come back. So yeah.
Racing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll so. There's not much introduction. Lector Mythic level 4, new headgear. Pog, clap, clap. So,
Be not afraid.
be not afraid. Because the wizard is tougher than most barbarians in the traditional 5e.
Oh shit. Good point.
So, I gotta ask a simple question for all of you, the same one that I ask every single fucking week. Sometimes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I guess.
No, but let's do it anyway.
Okay.
Much as we can.
I have to pretty much say that every time now. Otherwise, people will be disappointed.
Same procedures every year, Miss Sophie. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, last we left off, you were still exploring the city. Lecter made to the I guess had a bit of a reunion with his dad, had a bit of heart to heart, while Zvita, to your side, was basically having the worst time of her life. Obtained a banner, acquired intelligence of your I guess your past slightly, what you've been, and the old man not offered you, but requested a favor of sorts to bring all the sons back home. And technically you made it to the noble market again, acquired some new ropes for yourself, and of course Ken and Elena, same for you in a different shop. While Revan had a very interesting interaction with a bunch of Kenkus that were totally normal.
You gave me an anti-mimetic spoon.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, you did some investigation with Evanor, one of the Elector's brothers, and you found that somebody's just giving away these cultist ropes for free. Well, I guess stolen ropes, because you found 2 tabaxis, and then it offered they offered some information that they were given this by this gnome, this very simple, bald, very nice, luscious facial hair. A gnome that is, of course, quite old. You did not find the gnome in the actual city, but when you made your way back to now floating NPC, you realize that Plucky has befriended your quarry. And before you actually got a time to interrogate, Plucky just popped a cap in the fucker. Thus fulfilling one of his tasks.
Now I have to revive him and then kill
So,
him.
last we left off, you all made it back to the ship. And, yeah, if I recall correctly, you just witnessed that the quarry was executed in front of you, Revan. You didn't say what you want to do, and Lecter, you made it on the ship and had a bit of a questioning time with Evanor, where he's a bit suspicious about one particular person by the name of Jack.
How much do
I
you...
do have Revivify.
Oh no, you told Gable, because Gable was drinking like to the side, so he's gonna revivify, but yeah, so
I had
Unless
it,
you specifically wish to do it yourself.
true.
I'll let him do it.
So yeah, Lecter, you can start.
Yeah. I know that there is something going on with him. I was planning on confronting him in the near future. Actually, I wanted to ask our father as well, but it just... that question just fell apart during the conversation.
Eleanor immediately squints his eyes towards you, if he had any slits. But you see the gaze is kind of ingraining into your eyes. So you met him, is that it? But the old fool told you. What kind of fable tale did he spun about his sacrifice?
Our father or Jack?
Father.
He, of course, told a few stories about our past, the things that happened with us, and he sent out an invitation. He wishes to meet us again. Next time. Hopefully, at least, as a family more whole than it is right now. Us scattered across the entire archipelago.
The
And
Warforged,
sometimes beyond.
the Warforged in front of you slightly chuckles while looking at his side, unholstering his revolver, checking for the ammunition in it, seeing all 6 shots are in place, closing it and putting it back, then looking back at you. Oh yeah, our reunion is in order.
Do I get this correctly that you have different gripes with our father?
I think he's an hypocrite, and an asshole, a very big one. He
For what reason?
claims divinity. He claims that he is some sort of prophet, a messiah, a a leader of the island, and everything. Everyone here is happy. Have you seen the shore? Have you seen the slums? Have you seen what kind of people lay there? Do you see them as happy?
It's impossible to please everyone.
Indeed, but there is those who know that they cannot, and then there are those who are ignorant of it, yet proclaim the opposite. He
As
kind of
someone who's been partially entrusted and thrust into a position of leadership as well, I know how difficult it is to make sure that everyone is happy. There is more than 100 people aboard the ship, and I can assure you tensions still exist. And if 100 people is enough to cause tensions and discomfort, it won't get any better with literal millions.
roll a persuasion check.
I genuinely don't remember my new persuasion.
You gotta roll it down, or write it down.
There we go. 13.
That's why I do beyond. It automatically does it.
He
Same
said
here.
he says nothing, but then kind of looks over the deck, looks at just basically his surroundings, like almost for the first time, and then looks at one of the stairs that leads down into the ship, and then looks back at you. I'll investigate the place, see if I find any familiar entities that I witnessed. If you hear a loud shooting, don't come running. They're gonna already be dead. As he almost immediately just walks towards the one of the stairs that leads down, almost like kind of slightly nudging you to the side.
I'll be. I assume we were sitting at a table or something, right?
Yeah.
Or were we just like standing somewhere?
No,
Okay.
you were on the main deck because you kind of
mm.
just witnessed him and you saw Jack went to the bridge, and you kind of looked at him, and then you were having this conversation. So
Yeah. I'll just make a small hand gesture and like summon my small manifestation, my drone so far, which has also slightly changed in appearance. Just a small wooden ball with like the same symbol that I currently have on my forehead. And I'll just send it after him.
alrighty.
Yes, you wish. But most of the people on the ship have, well, mostly worked for their place here. Most of them can be trusted to an extent.
He does not give a response or an acknowledgement, but he just proceeds to walk down the stairs. So, Revan, at this
I'll
point,
keep an eye on him.
yeah. So, are you actually gonna just follow him, or just the eye, the drone?
No, just my eye is following.
So, at this moment, as you finish the conversation, you hear sounds of not grinding, but more like a concentration screech below the deck. As all of a sudden, there's like a slight movement of the whole ship midair as it slowly makes its way a bit to the left and essentially aims towards the sea as it starts to slow but surely make its way, I guess, from the streets of Kalna to actually, sea.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
so
at this
not-
point, right, Revan,
Yeah.
the Plucky is nowhere to be seen. As soon as he finished he overjoyously take his scroll and fucked off using his shadow magic. The man just lays there dead with a single bullet in his head. And of course you see,
I thought you took a knife to the stomach.
oh yeah, Knights. God damn it.
Because Plushie doesn't have a gun.
He technically does. he
Oh, he
does.
does.
He does. Yeah.
He has a frost gun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, whatever the case is, yeah, matter of 10 seconds from witnessing to trying to interrogate to dead, and now basically Gavel just coming close and essentially using a Garufai spell. Is there anything you want to do, or you just want to just observe and, I guess, ready to restrain him, or...
Well, I've gotten out the hempen rope from my bag, ready to go tie him up and then drag him off to a room to interrogate.
Okay.
Well, I'm also preparing a cure wounds so that I can heal him up so that I don't accidentally kill him by backslap him.
So...
Backhand him.
So yeah, matter of seconds, you start to see the flinching gnome come back to life, and he is too weak to even like react to anything as you essentially tie him up, and he's short. He seems to have nothing on himself besides a normal shirt, some pants, what seems to be a very simple dagger, and of course this very eye-catching cloak.
Well, first, I take the dagger out of his pocket so he can't use that,
Okay.
and just chuck it to the side. Use cure wounds to heal him up a little bit. Just
Roll to heal then.
yeah, I know it's 1d8 plus 3, which is good.
Hey, look at
And
that.
health into him.
And
That's
health.
enough. That's enough where he'll probably die from a single attack, which is perfect. Attack from a weapon specifically. Anyway. So I think there's still plenty of rooms that's like. There's probably a room that's pretty much empty, save for a table. Or something. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to essentially carry him to a room where I'm pretty much secluded, but I feel I would probably need someone to be the good cop.
I mean, Ken is present as Ken.
I
Ken, you technically all you can see, right, is because you went both to the tavern and you saw this whole transaction with Plucky as he vanishes, and of course now you see Revan. So technically, if Ken is like,
yeah. I'll explain on the way, but I suggest you come with me. Mainly because I need to interrogate this guy to find out where the cultists are coming from. Oh, also context, this guy is from my home dimension.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah, if you see people with that symbol, yeah. Oh, and clothes like this. Also be aware there were a couple tabaxis selling these clothes to random people. I kind of set the entire stall on fire.
Out there right now.
Yeah, so yeah. Do you know a room on the ship where I can interrogate this guy?
uh, uh, I mean, there's plenty of like, well, not big
I was
rooms, but like for your purpose, if you want just a chair, you have a good like 50, 60 rooms who are basically like small
I,
rooms of.
I was asking him in character, as in like
Oh.
for the role play. But okay, yeah, I'll find one of those rooms then, and make sure he's tied to the chair, not just his arms.
Oh yeah, he is not resisting at all. He is conscious, he's alive, but he seems to be out of it, kind of just staring off.
Well, I'm surprised that he's not resisting, considering what they did to me. Mind you, the way he acted so nonchalant on seeing me makes me think that they honestly don't care.
So yeah, Ken, are you gonna assist Revan in this good cop, bad cop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I need you to be my your good to my bad,
So,
because I do have a personal grudge against them.
Feels like a reference that exists more in your world than in ours, but
um, so yeah, while you're looking for a room, and it takes a few minutes, lecture. You see one of the bridge windows just opens up like from the bottom to the top, which you never seen before, and you see Paul just kind of peek his head out, and asking you like very loudly, because high up, every once in a while, one starts to pick up, and you can't really hear as well, and he just yells out, "So we got this thing operational. Don't know how fast it will be. Slightly faster than it used to be. Any particular place you need to go, since you're the captain and all?"
think so. Let me get my map out. I remember that I got a bunch of locations,
Yes. So,
and I initially planned on making a route based on what these look like in the archipelago in total.
yes, but damn it. I have problem with maps and them not saving. I do have
Ah,
a change map that I'm gonna send to, I guess, the dice roller, because why not? Because I already have changed the map on the stream. But the main deal is the closest. Okay, so you know that there's two in the Bastard. You know that there's two in uh, Eligna, one in Paradise, and one on Norn, which you know it personally, and then you know that there is something between Norn and Kalna. You don't know who it is, but you know that it's there. And every few minutes or so, well, not minutes or so, you just know that it was going there. And if you need to guess, you only saw one person who was heading somewhere on a boat, and it was heading north.
Mm. I think the direction Ligna Paradise sounds decent. So, from my experience, like from what I know, Ligna and Paradise, the two islands combined,
Uh,
are like more of the Western Archipelago, the area where we've never been.
no, you never been there. Because technically, this one big chunk is like kind of. There's like roll me a history check. You know what? With, oh wait, you have keen mind. Okay, I can tell this.
Still, just for the fun of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 27.
27.
So the thing with Ligna is that it's a very large island. Almost you could say it's like a very massive island, but it's split by these like wide rivers. And Ligna is to, I guess, to the south, you would say, for
Yeah.
it's very very lush, very beautiful, and very susceptible climate for, I guess, settlement, and it has been staked by the Empire. While Paradise is technically part of Lugna, but it's also split by a river, and it's inhabited by creatures of the Fae.
Yep, this sounds like a great combination. Yeah. So, in that sense, from here on, traveling southwest, course towards Paradise and Ligna. Paradise first, Ligna second.
Um, he kind of nods, and then kind of you can hear with your passive perception that he seems to ask someone on the bridge, presumably Jack, where it might be, and he immediately nods, says, "Understood. I'll tell you how quickly it will take, because this thing has a lot of upgrades."
Sure, let's check it out.
So yeah, the bridge window closes up, and then few moments after, you just start to hear the humming sensation as it almost like shifts course and starts to slowly fly away. So, oh god,
I'm just standing on the bridge, just watching the entire process. Not on the bridge, but on the main deck, just watching as it
So-
goes on.
what you basically realize if you're looking from the side of the deck, you hear immediately like a buzzing sound, and you realize that there's some sort of energy as you see these waves ripple in the air, and from those airs, the ship just moves itself from these platforms that you've seen put up by the new Dunkirkings all over the ship. And yeah, you kind of just start to slowly drift maybe 40-50 off the actual sea, just through the sky. Relatively quiet. The only thing that actually is like any major sound is actually the wind that occasionally just blasts the deck and spills a bit of the cool water out. So where would you like to proceed? Because now we're gonna have a very interesting intervention with Kenner.
Oh,
Leave it up to them.
interrogation, you mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, Revan, Lecter, I don't know, yeah, Revan, Ken, takes you a matter of minutes, and of course, a chair or a table, whichever things you need. A very nice, like 15 by 15 janitor closet that has like a bunch of shelves, but they're just barren and there's nothing else. And it has like a single light in the middle of it that is turned on and on. It's very
This'll work.
yeah.
Yeah. Put him in the chair, tie him to it, and everything. Okay, so I'm gonna need some information as to how you lot got here. And I don't care if I have to betray my morals for this, considering you didn't show me any mercy when you had me tortured.
Roll me a history check just for the second time to see if you like maybe
I'm,
remember.
I'm, I'm meaning the church in general.
Yeah, but still, just maybe now since you get this more
Yeah, closer look. 17.
17.
Good rolls.
You think you saw him once, very eager, very zealous, and almost you could say was one of your, I guess, follow, not your follow, but more like hyped up about the whole situation of you essentially becoming a god way back at the very beginning before it all turned around. He had a like luscious red hair and all that, but as the tables turned,
As if it's
he
been devolved.
yes, he became a lot more uh sadistic, uh and a lot more quiet and a lot more, how do you say this, angry at you. You can recollect, you don't know how many scars, but you know that he made you a very nice gash through your right shoulder to your right elbow, a few inches
That-
deep.
Is that right about where was it the
No,
how's that one?
no.
Other shoulder.
Other shoulder, yes. It,
Okay.
it it's a very nice single line that took hours to make. Not because it was very complex, but because he took his time with it.
Ah.
And
no.
and the gnome looks at you. His stare is of understanding, but there is no sensation of fear, and there is almost like a smile, or like almost like a sly smile of like a joke that is at play that you seem not to get.
You seem to think this is funny somehow. Explain.
He kind of just shrugs. I don't
I didn't
know.
have to. Well,
He just
I
says,
can fix that. I cast Zone of Truth. Yes, I had that prepared because I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
this coming.
yeah.
So that's a Charisma 17 saving throw. It's
Christmas
pretty much it's a 15-foot radius and it fills up the entire room.
17. Yeah, he fails.
Uh,
Well, technically can, and you also need to like.
yeah, I know. Do I have advantage on it because I'm the one who casts it?
No, you
No.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, okay, so I
charisma.
just have to
Yeah,
save.
if you will.
Which one are we doing? Christmas.
Charisma saving throw.
Yeah, charisma save.
You have to be a 17. Yes. I can lie fully well inside it. I cast Zone of Truth, so now we can like did he fail?
Yeah, he failed. He rolled a 9.
Good. I'll be able to get the truth out of him. One way
Yeah,
or
we're gonna
another.
use my flash of genius too.
Made the roll a bit.
Yeah, you,
Yeah, there you go.
you both succeed. You can lie as much as you see fit.
Cool.
So yeah, the gnome looks at you.
Now, we can get the truth whether you want to give it or not. Now, how did you get here? In this world?
He just kind of chuckles to himself. I don't know. How did you get here?
Accident.
Same.
Considering the sheer amount of you that I've encountered in this in this one city alone, and also the crates filled with your robes, that you somehow tricked a couple of tabaxis into selling.
They were.
I doubt that you got here by accident.
He is not telling any lies. He says, those tabaxis wanted to earn some coin, and I had very many boxes of items that I did not really need. But I did see your motivation to take out all those innocent bystanders who were wearing the cloak. It was kind of satisfying to watch, honestly. You know that he's lying to you. Because the zone of truth does not make you tell the truth. You know if it's lying or not. So he says is
No, but no. On a failed save, a creature cannot speak a deliberate lie.
I thought. Oh, wait, is it other spell that? Okay.
You'll think you have a different one. This
God.
is they literally cannot lie in this zone.
Okay. Then he stumbles for a bit, like trying to say something, but he stopped, and then he kind of gets a bit frustrated. Looks at you, looks at Ken.
It's annoying, isn't it? Being forced to tell the truth. And I open up my coat and my undershirt and just reveal the scar he made. You know, that's one thing I covet. It's one thing my father covets. Eye for an eye. Unless we get the information from you, I'm going to put an exact copy of this scar into your shoulder. And I'm not lying on that.
Oh, you do as you may. I am already dead. I died mere minutes ago. Do you think I fear death, Ravan? Honestly.
Oh, but
Do you
well,
think my service will not be rewarded in the afterlife?
you can't honestly believe that I'm that at all because do you still not realize the prophecy you preach from has been a lie this entire time? I'm also waiting for Ken to do the good cop in order to try and
I just imagine Ken is just like
It's,
picking his nose. It's like,
I just my eyes, both my eyebrows just raised. Like, as to be honest, this is the maddest I've ever seen him, and it's kind of scary.
the gnome seems
I
to.
undo the I take off my gloves, undo the bandages on my hands, so you can see the points where I was crucified. So
We're
you can see-
crucified? The fuck?
Yes, many. I mentioned many injuries and scars. There's 2 marks on my palms and the backs of my hands that show where nails were.
And this guy faced down a giant serpent from the sea that was big enough to lift this boat up on its body. I do what he says.
He just kind of chuckles to himself, looking at both of you. So what if the prophecy was false? It brought a bunch more power than some pompous twat with a god complex. You have no power. I know of it.
Not yet, at least.
And you never will be. You're destined to die as cattle for the sacrifice. Nothing more.
You'd say this, but then you also are hypocrites. You preach all this nice stuff, but then you work with demons and devils.
Oh,
Tell me how that fits into the grand design of the Archprophet.
poor Revan. Poor Revan, always so naive. Do you honestly think all the people who looked upon you believed that stupid little prophecy of yours? Yes, some were actually honestly hoping for something to come, while some was just following and maybe speculatively interested in it. But then, of course, it all went false. And then, of course, something better came. He offered power. You can see now, Revan and Ken, that his eyes are slowly start to blot out into this black nothingness, and there's these two warm embers in his like center of his eyes that are now glaring at you, that are slowly manifesting, becoming larger. Do not dictate morals to me, boy. You're nothing compared to what he offers, and you will never be. Kill me if you must. What are you gonna do? Kill me again?
You say that you are going to go to an afterlife when you die. Not if I use this. I pull out my short sword. This, when it kills someone, not only disintegrates their body, but also their soul. Meaning nothing. No afterlife. No soul. Just void.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Good, my persuasion's a +9, so...
That would be a point where good cover would be.
Add a 5 for the spark of genius.
I just imagine that being like an elbow bump.
Oh my fucking god!
It's at lane 15.
Oh shit.
No. He
Come
almost you whip out this black blade next to him and proclaim that this will erase his soul and the like. And he looks at it and it looks at you and he just starts to laugh at you. And he starts to like almost like swing back and forth in the chair, just how laughing he is.
I just punch him right in the face as he starts laughing. Screw it, I have to.
Okay.
So,
No,
well,
you don't need to.
yeah.
You don't need to. How much? What's your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is +1.
So you do two punts. Two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two damage.
Yeah, 2 damage. Yeah. Uh, as you hit him, right? You know, he recoiled and he kind of like snares a bit and looks at you and still like he no longer laughs full hearted, but he just kind of chuckles with you as his nose is kind of slightly crooked and blood begins to pour out. Looking back at your hand, you start to see what seems to be traces of coal, like coal dust on your knuckles. Even though he did not have anything, like he was pretty clean face overall.
That's interesting. You see this, Jin? Just show him the coal dust on my fist.
Nods.
Now, why would there be coal dust on my knuckles after punching you in the face? Let's see. Have I got just a cloth? Probably. I just take part of my sleeve and just wipe it across his face to see if anything more comes off.
More comes off.
Good. Ah. I can tell this is coal dust, right?
Yes.
Coal dust. Which means a mine somewhere. Now, Now, back to the question you avoided. Where and how did you get here? I know it's not by accident. Just, just that previous thing was retcon because you didn't realize that he has to actually tell the truth.
Yeah. Oh no, he just chuckles at you, slyly, and then just asks you, "Why would I tell you? You have nothing to offer me. You're powerless."
But I know how to unlock said power, and thus your master, that demon, will not be able to get it. That is why he's hunting me with such fervor. He promises power that he does not have yet. He's wanting to steal the power I possess for himself, and then he's going to betray.
And what do you have? He has followers, demons, spells, and arcane potential that you probably could not even fantasize about. What can you offer besides this? He kind of looks at your blade, your little blackened toy.
I have friends. I have allies. I have people who give actual conviction to their words. Look at Chin here. He's from another world, one that's far more advanced than this one, and the one we're from. Seeing the stuff I've seen that he's showing me is mind-blowing. Take his
Hello?
weapon, for instance. And then I pretty much motion over to Chin's firearms. We do not have firearms like this in our world. That thing on his back is powerful enough to annihilate someone in an instant. And he can do that from a kilometer away. Now think about that for a second.
Think about it.
Try me a sec.
Roll me a persuasion
Yeah.
check.
To be honest, I'm not the most, and I'm not the most, I don't come from the most technological thing we've seen. This
Yes.
boat, for instance.
Most of the people on the ship are from that world. 1d20 plus 9, and please be good. Yes!
Okay.
Better. The plus 9 really helps.
A tiny bit better.
Do I still have the Spark of Genius?
If you want.
Okay, I'll
Then,
just add
then, then it'd be a 22. He kind of looks at you. Still, the smile does not get away from his face. So what you're saying is, join you for the power that is to be you and your friends and compatriots.
I'm
And
not. No, I'm not saying you join me. I'm just making you think about your next action very carefully. Because now, I know that how you got here is through a coal mine. And you didn't even have to tell me.
the gnome kind of looks at you, Ken, completely ignoring you, Ravon. You see what I'm dealing with? The young fool. He kind of he seems.
Do forget that scrying magic exists, and I can now just scry upon the dust and find out where it came from.
Yes. And guess where am I? Where am I, Revan? Where am I?
No, where it originally came from. before it got on you.
No, you poor. He kind of chuckles to himself, and it's like a chuckle of like an old man that is like having the time. Was like, no, my dear old Raban. You're always were kind of dim with it. I get it, but you, of all people, brought to the heart of your friends and allies. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen to you and your friends on this very magnificent ship? He kind of just chuckles at you.
And you might want to leave the room because things are not going to be very good. Just to preserve your sanity.
Look at the guy. It's like,
I think we're done here.
it's like I look at the one. I look at him. So I look at him for a bit. It's like, ew. Give you one last chance to change your mood. Else I'm gonna leave you in the room alone with this man.
I was not here to be interrogated. I was here to find my quarry. And then looks at you, Revan. And I think I found my quarry on a very, very obvious object. I'll see you again, Revan, my boy. We'll have such.
Hold person, so we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen
What does he need to roll?
It's a Wisdom 17 saving throw.
Wisdom saving?
Yeah, Wisdom save.
Oh God, he failed. He starts to chuckle,
Oh
and then
no, you don't. You're not going anywhere.
his eye just locks with you, but they squint slightly. There's some smugness. The man shows no fear. Quite the opposite, honestly. He's ecstatic about this whole ordeal.
You see me put the mask on, and it's got an expression you've never seen. There's like black ichor oozing from the eyes and mouth sections of the mask. It looks absolutely terrifying. And then I use my necrotic shroud. My skeletal wings extend. He has to make another charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Natural 1. 8. So he
He's
fails.
frightened.
Yeah,
He's now frightened. Yeah, so both my eyes are now the same. Not just the white with the cyan eye. They're both the black with the red iris. Like the artificial one. Now, let's do things my way. And then across his shoulder, exactly like mine, with the short sword.
Oh, you're gonna actually use the short sword.
Yes, because I'm actually going to not only mirror what he's done to me, but I'm also going to show I wasn't lying about the disintegration.
So, there's no need to roll anything because you overdo the damage. With a single cut through the shoulder, the wound hits deeply, and all of a sudden, from the wound, you start to see this grayish gas emit and just kind of start to break apart his hand and just kind of slowly go across his body and essentially vaporize him into nothing.
I warned you. You didn't listen. Yeah, and the last thing he sees before oblivion is just that horrific mask. That's one piece of history dealt with. Yeah. And then Nick shroud away, mask off, and take a second to you know, take a second because that took a lot of mental fortitude not to immediately kill him. We have to be careful. Wait, was Ken still in the room when I
Yes.
ordered? Oh, okay. Oh,
You think
he
he
didn't
left?
leave.
He's just looking. He's just stroking his
Fire.
his beard. It's like, hmm.
Look, that's going to be some of the. Whenever I encounter one of these guys, it's going to be a moment like that. I was in a dungeon that they constructed for 10 years. Every scar on my body is a result of those 10 years. I've been hunting down, at times when I can, the people who inflicted these scars, including the ones on my face, my hands, and the rest of my body. And some of them run deep. I hope you understand that I needed to do this.
Just, I understand. Hey, it feels good in the moment, doesn't it?
Not really. That was
So it's
confronting my
something that you.
past in a. It was confronting my past in a physical way. And I need to do that permanently with the Archprophet, because if we don't stop him, this is going to keep happening. That and the Rock, who's promised them power that he does not have. Let's go relay this stuff to Lecter. Hopefully we can find out where and how they got here.
But just a bit of warning. Try not to lose yourself to the whole revenge thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen a couple times before. Had to put down one of them. I don't.
I mean,
And
the machine one that you mentioned.
even before that, even before I
Oh.
came here,
I understand. Just give me a minute. Okay. Let's go and inform Lecter of what we've discovered and... Yeah.
On the point of Lecter right now. Araxis?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember our conversation about hot glue and duct tape?
Oh,
Yeah.
now I'm wondering
Lecter
why
is already
Doctor...
realizing that it's kind of cumbersome to carry around a bronze cane everywhere.
Uh-huh.
He has two different ideas for this, and one of them involves pretty much a binding like the thing we mentioned.
Yeah, so are you gonna go to the New Dunkirk case and be like, hey, what's good?
Yeah, I'm gonna commission something to strap this thing to my back.
It's a major dendrite from
Yeah.
YK.
There's like, it's surprising enough, there's almost no big like everybody seemed to be taking almost like a break, kind of relaxing, minding their own business. Nobody's are working in the workshops, as everybody like has these chairs that we assume were manifested by them using nanites, and everybody's just kind of relaxing and taking care. But they're all just kind of in this room, which is kind of odd. Not every one of them, but most of them. And you kind of just we kind of see that almost all of them just kind of look at you, or at least like from looking at you to like kind of giving a glance of who came through the door, and then mind your own business.
Yeah, looking a bit differently, but mostly going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm just picturing that you just get a robotic arm strapped to your back that holds the staff.
Oh, believe me, we had a more primitive idea.
Yeah.
You know these hot glue guns?
Literally gonna glue it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
just expanding the portfolio.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But for that, it's gonna take matter of minutes before like a very interesting contraption on your back is placed. For you, it's a very complex thing of like metal on the back, but in reality, it's like a torch holder.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of interesting because I remember that this thing has a pike on the bottom end.
Yes.
If I run fast, it's going to continuously make sound, and that's going to be incredibly absurd.
Oh no! They made it that your lower back is where the pike is staying, and
Yeah.
then you just have you're let's just say you're a bit taller now, a lot taller, but your
He's got
back.
bonded. He's got bonded into every doorway.
Yep, that's the fun thing.
Yeah. So
That's the reason why I'm going to start working on something tonight. but-
okay, so 4 p.m. at the moment, and I would like one of you to roll me a D10 as you're going to Ligna after 16.
I'll roll it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
What's Ligma?
Ligma Bob.
3.
That joke existed in Twitch chat earlier.
Yeah.
I know this.
So
As it's at least we're not going to Faye Gone Wild.
Yeah.
So-
Paradise
This-
directly next
this
to that.
That's a terrible joke.
So what is everybody doing as you essentially fly across the sea?
I would be sitting up on the deck, just watching the entire thing going down while experimenting a bit with the stuff that I got now.
Uh-huh.
I got a bunch of stupid ideas. And I actually kind of got a project that I want to try out. Which would be making another spell.
Alrighty.
Summarize it, Mage Hand, but as a first level spell for the purpose of upcasting for it to last longer.
Roll me Arcana check.
Roll d20 plus 15 advantage.
Let it become a full god renamed
26.
himself a mechane.
In a matter for what you think of a theory of advancing something as a mage have for prolonged the time would seem like a project for weeks, maybe more. But for you, there's this almost unnatural insight into the ways of magic for you. In a matter of a half an hour, you conduct a spell how not only prolong the use of a mage hand, but also update its properties.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is, but until then, you, since you made a spell, you can call it however you want. So,
Yeah, that's something to think about.
So, for Ken, you basically see Elena is on top of the bridge. Like not in the bridge, on top of its roof. And just kind of standing there and observing the surroundings as you're kind of flying through the whole, I guess, sky. Seemingly just kind of almost content with the way this is going. Ravan, what about you? As you kind of just where your owl bear is.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just kind of chilling in the halls, not in the halls, but yeah, next almost like around the tavern, either in the hallways or just in the tavern itself in its corner. And you realize that it's like a kid could ride it into battle.
I
Or
know
have-
he's getting bigger. He's
Yes.
getting bigger. Soon I'll be able to actually have him as a proper animal companion. I'm gonna wait until he's like a bit bigger. Like I know he's big enough for a kid to ride him. Eventually we're gonna have to move him out of the tavern.
True. So.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it a little bit more time before
So yeah.
he's battle ready.
So decide, Ken and Revan, what you want to do, because at this point, as you start the journey, was about 3 p.m. So what is?
Yeah. Well, first, before I wash off the coal dust from my knuckles, I go to Lecter and ask if there's a way for us to potentially locate where this dust came from, as the person that was originally on no longer exists.
I imagine I'm still sitting on the deck right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait a
So
second.
so for some reason, Clutty brought back someone who was a high-ranking member of the cult who's been after me to the ship.
Interesting.
He killed him. I had one of our crew members revive him. And then I interrogated him. And then when I ended up punching him in the face for a comment he made, all this coal dust ended up on my knuckles. Do you think there's a way for us to track where it came from? Because
Depends on how deep you want to go with this.
locate the location it came from, as in if it was a coal mine, and where it's located on the map.
Lecter is currently sitting on the deck, so
Yes.
partially not looking at you, just like partially aligned. And he's just turning around his head. Do you plan on sleeping tonight?
Yes. Does his head just rotate 180 degrees?
Not 180, but around 110.
Oh, God.
So like,
You're
imagine,
an owl head.
yeah, like my back is partially turned towards you, like at a 45-degree angle, and I just turn to face you directly. Yeah. With a decent
Okay.
dream, I'm pretty sure I can track this down, if you deem it necessary.
Yes, because if these cultists of the congregation are entering this dimension not by accident, but via a permanent means, then that's a problem. That's going to get worse if the longer it stays. Like a wound that you let fester.
Okay.
Actually, you probably wouldn't understand that since you're not organic.
That is only partially true, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say let's discuss this in the evening. This is going to take a bit.
Yeah.
But I can assure
Okay.
you what you're going to get is the most detailed explanation you can get on this topic.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. So those. Okay,
Yeah,
and for Ken.
Right before that. So, after Revan's done talking to you, Lecter, you get a message. And when you do that, I have some request for you.
Okay. Like this, just like questioning, were you listening?
No,
No, absolutely not.
but I am informed of what he's trying to do.
Of course.
This is an unrelated topic.
So yeah, as for the journey as you head up from Kalna, about half an hour lecture, and only lecture, For a split second, you feel like time slowed down for a split second, and all of a sudden resumed, as if everything started to move slower. Everybody from the water sloshing in the pool to essentially anyone you see becoming slower for like a good few seconds.
But
All
yeah,
of us
my
got-
time during the searches.
Kinda. It kind of just goes like stops for a split second, and then all of a sudden you go back in time for like 7 seconds, and everything resumes normally.
Lecter would actually, like, Ravan, since you're still standing there, you would actually see this for a second. Lecter is almost disjointing his arm to reach to his back to grab the, like, cane off his back.
Yeah, I
And
did
takes
help
it
with that.
and no, I can do it myself. Like, my arm doesn't have a limited joint, so it's kind of like with my neck. So grabs it, spins it once, and just partially slams it into the ground, not to pierce it, but to just have the sound once. And with that, like, his eyes just start glowing up. I'm casting True Seeing. Is there any kind of trace of magic with this in the air?
You see in you never knew if it was present or it just was just a ride, but you just basically start to see these bright bluish with sparkles of stars inside of it, winds almost like howling a few 100 feet above you. And this coloration reminds you with that one interaction you had with Mistra. Or Mistral. Besides that, this whole like mirage of like bright blue winds, because they're not like colors, they're not streets, they seem to be almost like a separate source of wind. And they're just going what seems to be from all directions towards south. As in there's some sort of focal point way south. This is what Lecter sees.
Okay, so as then when I looked at the True Seeing spell, he sees things as they actually are, as well as seeing into the ethereal plane.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
wondering. I'm wondering, how do I look through the vision of True Seeing?
Honestly, that would be interesting.
It's like, what do I look like as what I actually am?
Is there an active change?
I mean, Revan is with his mask.
Well, no, I'm not wearing it at the moment, but if he looks at me with True Seeing, how do I look?
I
to
imagine
him?
that
You
it
look-
would just
you
be like
look-
the hodgepodge of that we usually have with like a bunch of small magic effects attached to it.
You see his body is tenfold more scarred than it usually is. Tiny scars. What seems to be Lecter, just looking at his body, it seems to be very painful scars that have been done in patterns, as if a mosaic of sorts.
There's also like scripture across the chest that has been burned in,
Slightly glowing through the clothes.
probably.
Yeah.
And various
Well,
religious
that's very-
symbols that are also burned in there. Hell, you haven't even seen my guy's back. The amount of scars on that.
Like this, just standing there with the banner in his hand right now. Like I said, eyes glowing, and they're like, you know, the silver thing he now has on his head.
Yeah.
That thing is partially outlined in a way that it roughly forms the shape of an eye, like a third eye, more or less. And he's actively looking at you with all three eyes, all of them focusing on you. head slightly tilted.
Wait,
Well,
is it like?
seems like we all have stories.
Oh, you can see them, can't you?
With the right magic, you can see everything.
Ah,
It's
Uh,
not something I've tried before.
All of a sudden, you just see Pluck just materialize like good like 4 inches to your side, Lecter, and just all of a sudden, hey,
All three eyes focus on him.
ah!
I wonder what
He
his
kind of
like.
he kind of looks at you. It's like looks at. There's like a slight tinge of like almost like confusion, and then like he completely just blankly just stares at you. Hey, Lecter, did you feel something odd? I was running down the hallway, and all of a sudden everybody started to move slower. The kitchen sink started to flow less slower, and then all of a sudden I came back and I stopped, and I was very confused. He kind of
Distortion of time.
Wait,
It felt
with
weird.
true sight, you can see invisible creatures. You can see him whenever.
nope.
Nope. And that's the crazy thing.
Oh, what? He's got invisibility that overpowers true sight.
No,
Yep.
it's all camouflage.
He's so stealthy
Yeah,
that
no,
even
he has a
Tristan cannot
plus
see him.
40. Plus 40 to stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My passive perception is like 16. I have no chance of ever noticing this fucker.
So, as soon as he kind of calculates your answer and then says, "Okay, gotcha," and then vanishes.
It's honestly fascinating that
Someday-
even this stuff can...
Someday I'm
Specialize him.
going to grab him by the throat, but I don't think I can right now.
There's something called impulse control.
Yes, and I didn't have much today.
So, so Ken, anything you like to do, or just nothing at all?
I'm gonna go seeing Lena there. Just gonna go up and
yes.
just have some time with her.
I like the idea that you're just climbing up the side of the ship.
Yeah, it's
Of the bridge.
there's like a single ladder that is like used almost like for emergency thing that you can climb, and it's very easy, and the winds are hardy, but it's nothing very difficult, and there's plenty of like pieces of metal that are like rings and stuff that are basically made for holding on to something, maybe for equipment or something, and there's plenty of way to hold on for a case of something. But you see, Len just kind of standing, just observing to her, to the south where you're heading, and just kind of overseeing the whole ordeal. Roll me a perception check, my good Sir Ken. Oh boy. It's relatively peaceful. Few clouds can be seen in the distance. Not seems to be likely of rain, and yeah, relatively calm. And at that point, Jack just kind of whistles through the bridge, and all of you can hear it. Lecter, Pablo said that it's gonna take about 2 days. And he kind of just
Nodded.
he kind of nods. So, because you're airborne and most threats are by the sea, you got 2 days of downtime while you traverse the archipelago.
Just watching the entire thing right now. Like, I still have the true sight on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I assume we have some sort of side railing on the main deck.
Yeah.
So I'm just leaning. I just got up and I'm leaning there, just looking down. Honestly, getting a new perspective is curious. I have like the banner leaned next to me.
Mhm.
It's slightly waving, like the flag itself is slightly waving.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got 2 days
We
of
might be
downtime.
creative.
Well, while we're up there, I'm just going to just enjoying the view. To Lena.
She says nothing but slightly nods.
It
But
is session 69 after all, so this is going to get a bit
Have fun.
raunchy.
Just in passing, it's like, out of curiosity, as talked about that mountain range. What exactly was that mountain range called again?
she kind of crosses her hands. The ridge had no name. We just call it home. There's not a single particular name. The big ridge, the mountainous range, the snowy top range.
Right.
Ask a different person around there and you would get a different answer.
Right. Just checking. Ever miss home?
She kind of bites her lip, almost out of anger. I do, but not for the right reasons. I would like to return home, so I can slaughter everyone who did me wrong, and then leave the place burning to the ground.
I know the feeling. Currently, there's people that I've encountered from my home that are on the same boat, have the same feelings towards, and I'm still trying to work that out myself. Perhaps one day both of us can work on both of those together.
One day. At the moment, I feel like we have a bit more pressing matters.
Mm-hmm.
Will you join me to sit? As she kind of sits down, kind of grabbed by one of the metal pieces, just kind of make sure that it's actually does not break out of like pulling strength. Kind of sits down, just kind of observes the deck from above. Looks at you.
I'm gonna join.
Okay. So 2 days for you to decide what you wish to do.
Yeah, so downtime, I haven't really encountered downtime before.
True.
Use
Well,
it well.
Raven,
Or
if you,
ever.
I'd say, depending on what you two are doing, I want to have the last bit.
Okay, well,
So you guys go first, because I have to borrow Lecter after
Yeah,
he goes.
yeah, absolutely. Pretty much, most of the day would just be me noting down, noting down in some variation, things about what has happened. Not in like a true diary, but like cryptic notes. And the real important thing is that I'm preparing a ritual for today evening. That is going to take up a bunch of time. Like usual, every day I'm casting, what's it called?
You basically.
One Kind's Private Sanctum in
Yep.
my room.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I'm starting to draw circles that will be useful in the evening. And once I'm finished with that, I will be telling Rivan that I can now deal with the coal.
yeah, I would have put in like a jar or something so that we have a place to, or just put it somewhere where we're not going to lose it.
Yeah.
Because the dark
Honestly,
flame is on. No
I
longer
have like
exists.
100 vials with me. I could have just given you one, so I would
Yeah.
I would
okay,
assume I
we'll
would
say
have given
that
you
then.
one. Hmm.
We'll say that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would be inviting you into the room. We can go there just as the two of us, or alternatively, we can take anyone with me, up to up to 6 other people. Do you want to do this yourself?
I don't know if they'll have guards or anything, or
Believe me,
if this
nothing
is
is
just a
going to be
hunch.
able to touch us. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It's just about spread of information.
I want to know I want to know if these guys have a way here that's permanent, or just if they're finding a way to exploit the whole transportation thing.
Hmm.
Because if it's the former, either we need to shut it down or take it for ourselves. But locating where where they are based, at least, is the first step.
Yeah. Getting a glimpse of that yourself should be the easiest way.
Yes.
So, I assume that was just a conversation we were having in like the door frame.
Yeah.
I would actually then invite you into the room. You would be seeing a bunch of markings on the ground. Written using my middle finger, so it's going to disappear at some point anyway. In the end, it's like a set of ritual circles with a clear, like, dictated area in the middle that's completely white. And multiple, like, bigger circles, big enough that you can sit in them.
Okay.
Take a seat and hand me the call. We're going on a bit of an adventure.
Let's see. So hand off the vial.
And
Cold
take a seat in
dust.
one of the circles.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, in that case, I would be emptying out the vial partially, not entirely, partially into the middle of the circle. I would be sitting down myself, and Araxis, for your context,
Huh?
I'm casting Dream of the Blue Veil.
Ooh, finally!
Good. I've heard,
The two of
I've
us.
heard good things about this.
So you're casting Dream of the Blue Whale, Veil. Yeah. So I just have a question. This is the call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! I'm trying to find the actual specific. You give me a second. Because here's the thing, Vicky Dot has been shut down because of hackers.
And you tried
shit.
this witchy dot
Yeah, so give me a second. I'm just gonna look.
because you were using witchy dot stuff for D&D, weren't you?
Yeah.
D&D Beyond usually has good amount of that.
Some good stuff.
So.
Yes, I could have drawn Powerword Paint from you. I just noticed the thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't get it now. But if I remember correctly, you can basically see the surrounding vicinity with a bunch of people, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, at this point of the ritual, it's about 7-ish, 7:30 p.m. The sun begins to slowly set to the west. The ritual takes how long?
The ritual itself, to cast it, takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The spell duration can be up to 6 hours.
Oh yeah. So, as you use it, 10 minutes pass, and all of a sudden, slowly but surely, in the circle, the coal starts to almost like spring out the dust and starts to cover your vision. And all of a sudden, it slowly starts to subside, and it seems to be as you see yourselves both sitting translucently somewhere of a cave encased in ice. You see rocks, you see chunks of coal, you see what seem to be kobolds branded by some sort of markings that are shining this obsidian black on their either blue or red scales, as they seem to be mindlessly mining this hollowed piece of mountain, not mountain, just cavern. You see that there is a passage that goes deeper, or that goes outside. And the first thing you both notice is, looking outside, the sun is setting. Where would you like to go?
What direction is? Actually, no, it'd be the same direction. Never mind. Oh, no, like go out. We could go outside to find out where this cave is, or we go deeper to find out.
You got hours.
Okay,
Literal
cool. So
hours.
yeah, we'll go outside first to see where this cave is located.
As you exit out, you see you just see normal grayish stone, and then you see a sudden drop. What seems to be you just see a sudden drop into nothingness. This is a dead end. But what you see in the left and to the right, this seems you see that where you are in the surrounding area is of course like a mountain range, but a few feet, like 10 15 feet away, you just see massive icy glaciers frozen over this mountain, and you see that you are looking towards the south, as to your left, no wait, yeah, to your right you can see the setting sun. And you see that the setting sun is exactly the same as your world. You're in the same plane. And
Okay.
the drop to the water, which seems to be not inviting with its jagged spikes at the bottom, is about like 300, 400 feet drop.
Ugh. That does not look pleasant. Anyway, let's go deeper and see a bit more. So,
There's a fun implication with this because of the way the spell acts, but we'll get to that in time.
I would
you
like.
also mentioned the kobold, and then Ken was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, yeah, because you know
I'm
what
guessing
happened.
I'm guessing this is a reference to the other campaign.
Maybe.
We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
panicking right now, just in
So,
case.
So, the you realize almost immediately that the kobolds here are all frogs, and every once in a while you see one of them either collapse from loss of strength or just some sort of illness, and all of a sudden you just see the obsidian mark singes deeper into their skin, and the kobolds out of pain either collapse and die on the spot, or they begrudgingly stand up and proceed to work, as they seem to be mining out more coal and seemingly ignoring all other ores or anything, because you see there's bits of what seem to be copper, iron, chunks of sapphire just littering the ground, but they seem to be focusing only on coal. I would like...
What does the symbol look like, by the way? The brand thing that's on them.
The brand looks like a single line vertical, a vertical line once, and then two horizontal lines somewhere in the middle. It's not something that you know extreme specific, and it's too I guess
Generic.
vague, yeah, generic. So,
Yeah,
with that,
we're going deeper, so
I would like you to roll me a perception check because this place has many tunnels and many pathways.
okay, specific. Wish I really wanted the wisdom, but damn it.
So, Lecturer, you take the lead, and it takes you a good 20 or so minutes traversing through this place as now the sun has finally set, and you realize that there's almost no source of light except for occasional a dimly lit not lantern but a torch that is way between each I guess torch, and essentially there's just columns of darkness that spread for minutes. But
I adopt him.
uh yeah. But you guide yourselves quite efficiently through the mines, and you basically just see more and more kobolds. You don't see anything else. You just see the kobolds. If they get any massive chunks of like coal, what they do is they seem to be carrying somewhere, and it's easy for you to track because at the end of your 20 to 30 minute journey, you basically start to see these very heavily guarded, heavily armored individuals. And when you recognize the plate armor, the sigil, you fought them with Evanar. Four Goliaths, essentially, almost like idly waiting chairs by a table as they seem to be having supper, while the kobolds grab any bits and chunks of coal and just kind of put next to him as the Goliaths put him in the bags of holding. It seems
This is what I mean about these guys. This is one of the reasons I hate the contradiction with a passion. They do
There's
stuff like this.
mostly remaining silent. He's just watching.
So, would you just watch the Goliath and see where they go, or are you just gonna
Hmm.
proceed to?
So is it like a big door or something?
No. It seems like all of it's kind of congealing to a single hall pathway, but it's still like sprout out. But this is just like a handful of torches, a single poor table with a handful of stumps or just wooden just logs, and these 7 to 8 foot tall, heavily armored Goliaths that are just seeming to be eating almost like what seems to be raw meat and just waiting for the goblins to essentially fill.
Kobolds.
Yeah, no kobolds. I'm sorry. So, are you gonna wait, see what happens? Or are you gonna try to explore for just?
What do you think?
I think this is a decent point to wait.
Okay.
Yeah, wait
You were
and see
interested
where
about
they
the
go.
coal.
So, takes about 10 minutes or so, and the meal is finished for them. And they seem to yell out with a bellowing roar, one of them, to essentially hurry the hell up, for the master is waiting for its supply. And you see, a handful of kobolds in a matter of minutes proceed to bring more and more. Two of them kind of collapse, seemingly out of exhaustion, while one immediately stands up and just kind of picks it up. It just kind of brings the coal and just runs away on its whole force. The other just kind of collapses and doesn't seem to be getting up. One of the Goliaths just takes his great sword and without hesitation just pierces the back of the kobold and just kind of impales it to the side of the wall, and then seems to like reach his hand out and just kind of freezes the body over, encasing it into the wall. Retracting the blade, one of the Goliaths just chuckles and then grabs the bags of holding and proceeds to walk out alone, leaving 3 Goliaths behind.
Alliance that cast magic?
Not impossible.
Now that's new, because they didn't have that when I was imprisoned.
There's still a
Anyway.
difference between something that is impossible and something that is incredibly rare.
It's rare. Anyway, let's follow that one, because he's obviously taking all that hole somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, we start following the
Yeah.
one with the bag of
So
holding.
yeah. Takes you a good 20 or so minutes, and you start to see that through like the other tunnels, because this is a vast network of tunnels, and he seems to go in specific direction, and almost always in the dark, as if he's done it the countless of times. And every few minutes or so, he almost gets like a messenger of like a half orc or a drow that seem to be not as heavily armed, but still have like very fine blackish armor, either chainmail or the like, as they seem to just chuck the bags of holding to the Goliath as he just kind of takes them and almost without hesitation just keeps on path, not even like interacting with them besides receiving the pouches. What seems to be another 20 minutes, you seem to be slow but surely making your way up and up. At the moment, you're just traversing through darkness as there's no source of light, but the heavy steps of Goliath is a very, besides, vision from Revan, you basically can track him very easily, and he's not exactly stopping for anything. And then he comes across a massive block of ice that he almost immediately just kicks open, and there's a slight cracking sound, and through it light starts to pour in as you see about 60 or 70 similarly heavily armored individuals, most of them Goliaths, having
Crap.
either having just drinking and eating or fighting each other. You immediately sense that, not sense, but like you can see, Revan, that all of them are either have like great axes, great swords, or mace with shields, but all of them seem to be possessing some sort of not fire, cold magic. As you see, with some of them, they go full pure martial, but some of them, while exchanging blows, they try to hinder the opponent with their magics.
Well, looks like magic casting Goliaths are not rare anymore.
As he seems to be going through this almost like a barracks of sorts, he seems to be taking towards like this distant basically opposite side where he came from, and it's more murky and shadowy pathway that it has no source of light. And as he kind of walks by, occasionally you hear some banter coming from the Goliaths in a mockingly manner. Some of them are throwing bones at him, while he completely ignores them, but occasionally snarls out of frustration and throwing curses at each other. In the shadowy hallway, the first thing you see as he like walks away, like good 2 minutes away from the old beacons of sources of light, is a bunch of rocks. 6 rocks, 11, 12 foot tall, seemingly, how do I say this? Rolling a perception check and a medical check, as they seem to be working on Goliaths on these metal benches in the darkness. This is perception, right?
Yeah.
That was perception.
Same here.
And medical check. Okay.
Okay.
That one.
Mental. I'm missing. Yeah. Same as my.
Okay, so you can see that these rocks they have their staffs in hand, but they seem, with the other hand, they seem to just carve the Goliath's flesh. Screams can be heard, blood can be flown, as they seem to be either harvesting something or putting, like, looking for something in these Goliaths. Most of them seem like men and women just seem to be used almost as a fodder of sorts, as they don't seem to even care for the life of the Goliath, as they seem to just take a matter of seconds to go through someone, inflicting massive wounds with their talons and just kind of leaving them to bleed out, suffering their own fate. The Goliath that you're following snarls and occasionally looks at the tables, but as soon as like one of the rocks almost like humors to look at the Goliath, he immediately looks back into the hallway and pretends like he did not flinch at all. Another few minutes pass, and at this point, it's been like an hour and a half, so I don't know how the vagueness of the spell starts to recede.
Exactly the opposite, in fact.
Oh.
The spell gets sharper the longer it goes on, and if you spend the entire 6 hours, officially it acts like plane shift. But
Gotcha.
that is for you to determine.
Fair. So, yeah, takes you additional 20 minutes walking, occasionally what seems to be climbing makeshift, not boulders, but like, not stairs, but more like actual just like rocks, to get higher and higher up somewhere. And then with the final climb, you can hear in the distance a howling wind. As now it's fully dark outside, but you can see that the stars are opening up into the sky as he seems to walk outside. This one, even though there's a path to go to the immediate left from this, is not a wide path, and it's maybe like 6 or so feet wide, and you see the drop is significantly massive. You estimate a quarter mile or so a drop. Roll me perception, both of you. Revan, just a straight roll. Lecture with disadvantage.
At least it's decent.
You know that you're high up. You know that you're in your plane, but where in the archipelago you are, you have no clue. So yeah, you just kind of see that this is less of like a mountain, more like an actual icicle. As you're climbing upper and upper, by this path, you start to see a handful of rocks, almost like watching the Goliath as he kind of brings the things.
I honestly didn't think there'd be this many rocks. I thought there would only be like a few.
How heavy of a
Looks
role
like-
do they play in your story?
Looks like the one that started all this, the one who convinced them that he'd give them power, which he seems to be doing actually, brought a big army.
So yeah, takes you up to this point. You can count up to 12. Okay, for lecture's sake, yeah, 68 Goliaths, right?
Jesus.
68 Goliaths, 12 rocks. And as you're climbing this is like a narrow path that leads, and you see the rocks occasionally fly by and just kind of observe, mind your own business. And you see 4 more rocks at the very top of this precipice. As you see this, 2 cloaked figures. One is bearing the familiar cloak of that you witnessed so many times before, Evan, but one that is kind of looking what seems to be to the east. just looking away from everyone else, as they seem to have some sort of pit that is like 40 feet wide and maybe 6 to 7 feet depth, as in the middle there is a cloaked figure, a very old man. Revan, you kind of recognize the person immediately. It is your boy, the Archprophet, who is more older, more feebler. But you see, just looking at him, you see that he, even though his age is shown, he does not seem to age in his movement one bit, as he immediately darts at the Goliath, who immediately, almost kneeling, gives the bags of holding to the prophet, and just kind of scatters the coal into the pit. Then starts to extend his hand towards the Goliath, and the Goliath almost immediately has this recoil of standing up and running away. But before he does, all of a sudden he stops, and this bluish violet energy starts to seep out of the Goliath, and his entire being disappears. Only bones and armor remain instead in mere moments, as the bags of coal are getting sprayed by him, while with his hand he's holding what seems to be some sort of essence of the Goliath.
This is different, but that is the one who originally chained me up. The one who started all this. The one who fell for the false prophecy and created all this nonsense.
Doesn't look too false if you can do this kind of thing.
I'm betting that the power he's using right now he got from that demon.
Yeah. The coal is getting basically put all around him. And are you gonna look at the other Cal figure? Because he seems to not even look at the place, because the pit is surrounded by 4 rocks that seem to be perfectly aligned. So each of
the
sure.
direction.
Huh?
So the rocks are aligned with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, I'm guessing?
Yes. And and he's in the middle in the pit. And there's another cloaked figure that has a different cloak, that like similar pattern but different coloration, and seems to be looking away from it and does not seem to be interested in what's happening at all.
I'm gonna have a look at that guy, because something is a bit off about that guy.
It's
So
you.
has he got this? What?
You see a carbon copy reflection of yourself in his face, but his eye is your artificial eye is one of red coloration. This one is of brilliant sapphire blue, as it seems to be in focus to the east and seems to be tracking something with its eyes ever so slightly moving.
They cloned me. That is a bit unsettling. They
The reaction
have a
tells me
copy of-
that this is not natural.
Yeah, that's hauntingly accurate, save for a few details. They made a copy of me.
Do you know why?
I don't know. But wait, its eye is blue, the artificial one,
Yeah.
whereas mine's red. Ruby red. Is this supposed to be what they've taken from me? All that I was? Condensed into its own being? Looking back
Seeing
to
a lot of
the
magic now, but I don't think magic like this exists in normal forms in this world.
Does anybody has Abyssal as their language?
Not directly.
No.
You start to see the arch prophet immediately takes his cowl and reveals his very time-worn face as he has a bunch of charcoal, and it's like up to his almost like inner thighs, like it's like a good almost 2 feet up to his ankles, and he starts to shout into the sky, into the stars, as he extends his hand with the essence of the Goliath, and then just kind of shoves the essence into the coal pyre, and the whole cauldron combusts in purplish flame. As it yells and yells, the fires lick his skin, but do not burn him at all. He seems to be more and more fervent in his chanting. And you see the rocks seem to extend their hands towards the pit, all symmetrically. And then you see it, a giant manifestation. 19-20 foot tall rock. Eyes of purplish void.
That's the one I saw in my dream.
Twice as many sockets as before, Ravon. Wingspan about 12 feet in each side. This is a massive creature, but it seems to be incorporeal. As you see immediately in the fire, the arch prophet kneels in the coal. His robes are burning as it starts to commune with the beast. What are you all doing at this point?
Since I'm most likely noticing the fact that I can't understand shit, I would be getting into casting comprehend languages.
I
Okay.
mean, cast spells while here in this state.
Since this is a vision, I would assume that interaction with
You could.
self-casting is still a possibility.
Yeah.
Honestly, since we're physically separated, I cannot touch you, since this is a form of dream. So, sorry,
Okay.
can't do anything to you.
Well, actually, yeah, no, I do not have comprehend languages. Breathe.
I will transcribe it for you. But yeah, comprehend languages, go.
Okay. So, you just catch at this point the rock, the giant thing, not chuckling, but like screeching. Good. Amass our armies, and then we'll set upon them in the dead of night. And then the glare from the prophet, it is kneeling, to the hooded figure that is essentially Revan's opposite side, or whatever side. And what of him? Is he compliant? And then the arch-prophet says, "Yes, my lord, he is as you instructed. This power that we obtain in this land is unequal to anything we scoured through. He is obedient and he will do his part well." The rock chuckles to himself. Good. Make so that he is obedient. If not, well, plenty more that I can put on the marks. And with a sudden flap of the wings, the silhouette vanishes, and the coals are burning in the arch-prophet's just all around him as he takes deep breaths. as he's essentially thanking the Lord. Revan and Lecter, I would like you to roll me inside.
It's
Okay.
uh,
There we go.
wait, where's that? Ah,
21 on my end.
So, you see the rocks are essentially almost like recoiling back to their usual selves, while the arch prophet is incredibly happy and satisfied with his thing. Revan, though, this Revan, his face seems to be torn. He heard what was told. He did not look upon what was behind him. But for Lecter, you understand what he heard he did not like. As he
even though
seems, as he seems to be purposely avoiding what is behind his back and looking towards the east, eyeing something.
So, like, even though we're not physically there in this particular vision, would I still be able to cast, like, thaumaturgy? Near him. Near the
No.
copy of me.
Divination does work. Actual
Oh,
interaction
This
doesn't.
is transmutation. Okay, never mind then.
It's more like something
bet-
to enhance your own senses works, but
A message would work.
I haven't got message, unfortunately. I don't
Then
know
do.
why it's not. Don't know why it's on the spell list. I'll do sending.
you know this person because you've seen them before.
Exactly now. Listen, I know who you are. Probably know who I am. Get out of there while you can, before they find you as a liability. From a friend.
I
And
knew.
that's what he receives.
I know who you are because you speak in my voice. And I know that you're out there somewhere. So where would I flee? I'll be just hunted down and cut down.
So is your homebrew version of sending where we can just reply back and forth, or do I have to recast it?
It would be recasting.
Recasting.
Okay, then I'll do another one. You can be with us. We're friends. I can help you. We're practically the same person.
Persuasion.
Lecter has a slightly terrified look on his side.
Because you realize what I'm. Oh, wait, I know. Oh, yes. Having two of me.
One is bad enough.
15?
He takes a deep sigh, and you see two of the rocks immediately like kind of eye Revan. Not you, but like the Revan
The copy.
by
Blue Ribbon.
yeah
Just
blue
one left.
Revan, and you get a reply, Revan. No, I will stay here, and they will come for you. Once you die, it all will be over.
I'm not gonna reply. Had to have gone better.
Damn.
I was trying to see if I could get him to help us, but let's say he's not willing. However, another bonus here. Because we've seen this stuff, we can locate object to find out exactly where it is in the world.
you think it is necessary.
Well, I'm guessing it was an important conversation between those two. That prophet, I really want to get rid of, because he's the reason for so many of my scars.
Revenge. Revenge.
It's not revenge, it's justice. My father's on board with it. When I said I was going out adventuring, told him, he warned me that they might hunt me down. He was right. And then I asked if I could essentially get justice for what was done to me. And he said, if I encounter any of the higher ranking members or people that were personally involved in my injuries, then I have full reign of punishment. But if I
That's your choice.
chose someone who was innocent, he would abandon me.
And be careful who you fight.
Yes.
Innocence is a term that is difficult to coin in this world.
Innocent in the sense of wronging me. Were they directly responsible for my scars? Were they responsible for my imprisonments? Could they have helped me? But chose not to. I know it's a broad term, and those specifications are a bit vague, but they help keep me on the straight and narrow. Because if I didn't have those limitations in place, I would have lost my mind many years ago. You wouldn't have met me.
Maybe. You never know
He's-
with the Archipelago.
He's probably me if I stayed. A broken version.
Remember your conversations about different worlds of
Oh.
the Silver Dragon?
An alternate timeline, or just an alternate timeline of my reality?
Maybe an alternate timeline? Maybe a point later where you just never left? It is
The eye
irrelevant,
is the
honestly.
dead giveaway, though.
It is irrelevant anyway. The point is, you got something right now
Yes,
that
we've got
they
what we
probably
needed.
don't know about. You know way
Yeah.
more than they expect.
And
And to be honest, I think that at least right now, we can deal with it.
yeah. By the way, what did they talk about? Because it sounded important. With the tone they were giving.
They were talking about use and obedience of this other version of you for a purpose unknown.
Anything else?
Not directly.
Then we should probably get out of this. We've got what we came for.
I can get you out of this. Like that just puts a hand on your shoulder. Well, brace for impact. And he literally, not
This
kidding,
is going to hurt.
not in the classical sense. You know the Inception thing where they yank you back so you fall onto your back to wake up?
Basically that.
Yep, I'm literally pulling you to the ground, and as a reaction, the whole dream just fades and you jump up
Yeah.
in the real world.
And
Lecter
you're
gets up a bit more gracefully.
and you're all covered in coal ash. Not coal, but just not ash, but a
Wow.
coal.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed.
Right.
So
I assume this was like 2.5 hours.
yeah,
today?
2.5 hours. It is about 10 p.m. Ken.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, you good?
I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, what does Ken want to do?
Well, I told Lecter when he was done to message to contact me.
And I would.
So to put in perspective, Kenda, while they were gone, essentially a birthday is getting celebrated in the tavern, and it's Zan's birthday.
Oh, God damn it.
As
I was doing a solid gold fedora.
as everybody's drinking to Zan's health, and he's matching everyone drink by drink.
15 people drink around him. That means that Zan is drinking 15 drinks.
Yes.
Easy enough.
Oh yeah.
I should see. I should make some more of the end of the line and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm partaking
no,
a little
that-
bit while still
that's
trying
all-
to keep myself reserved enough so that if Lecter calls, I'm actually sober enough to tell him what I would like of him.
Yep. Around
Wish
10, I would be contacting you. This took a bit longer than expected, but I'm available now.
Don't do all this dust off me.
I wouldn't even be bothering just walking through the entire ship covered in coal.
You just see all my robes and all the clothing I'm wearing is just blackened.
Yeah, go take a shower and get some rest. This kind of ritual is...
Oh, you done with Revan?
Wait, what's the party?
Well, I was gonna say, well, there's a party down here. Send him
Yeah.
down this way. He's
So
been
so
asking.
so to put in perspective, the Germans are out.
Oh,
no.
fuck.
Oh,
The G-
yeah, we
oh.
got some real good drinking buddies now.
There's about 160 people in this tavern. It's like comfortably can
It's
fit like
packed.
yeah. Everybody's fucking dancing, celebrating. Half the people don't understand what the other half is saying, but everybody just
To summarize
You
what's
got
currently
Russians
happening...
doing their awesome, they're dancing and all that.
yeah,
Kachinka.
yeah.
To summarize how this is currently going, Moscow, Befehlsan, über Russland ist ein schönes Land.
Yeah.
Hey!
Okay, you can spot everyone present, everyone in the ship, except for a handful of people. Zvita, Jack, and Gable.
Hmm.
Even Evanor is here, which is odd. Like the first thing you see when you go to tavern, he's just like few feet to the left, just like looking at everyone. Hands crossed.
While entering the room, I would just be quickly asking, so, did anyone meet your justice?
This place is clean thus far.
Good.
Kind of goes
I'm
that
not anymore. And then I just walked in just covered with the ash.
So yeah, you essentially see you see the Revan, you see the owlbear just on one of the tables. Just eating. And there's nobody getting him off. Everybody's just cheering him on.
Oh no.
I was like, go, eat.
Oh no, what is he eating?
He's
Please tell me
Nah.
he's eating Plucky.
no, you don't know where Plucky is. Ken knows that he saw Plucky, but you don't know where Plucky is. You see that he's eating what seems to be just a bunch of chopped meats, and essentially you see that the actual table is like slowly getting like, I guess, more and more heated as you see like white like, you know, just like
Oh no.
yeah.
Who let
So-
him on the table?
It's fine. So, Ken, what is it you like to do?
Looks like
Um,
I hate to keep you from a good party, but I think we need to discuss this in a more private setting.
In that case, follow me to my room. There's no place more private than that, quite literally.
Yeah, I'm going in for damage control so that he doesn't break any tables.
Oh no. The tables are sturdy. The people are clapping. The Germans and the Soviets are clapping. The bear who
I
seems
did promise a better life. They're enjoying it.
yeah, they're all happy. They're all seemingly happy.
Yep.
Every once in a while you just hear a loud "eh" as Zan takes a shot, and there's a lot of fucking shot glasses.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll let Ken and Let to do their thing.
Yeah,
and,
so yeah.
I'll just be partying.
So, for Lecter and Ken, what would you like to do?
That's exactly what I'm asking Ken.
Yes, and that's what I asked Ken. Let's go.
You
Great.
see, at this point, as we're walking over there, you see him, his eyes darting about, looking over his shoulder and all that stuff. And other than that, if he's not looking over his shoulder, he's just staring at the ground as we make our way.
You seem paranoid.
I just don't want a certain ear to be listening in on what I have planned.
I'm sure we can manage that.
No, not
Okay.
that it's sensitive information about the job. It's actually something quite personal.
Oh yeah, that is fine. Okay, I will be casting Detect Thoughts. Within a range of 30 feet around us, are there any other thinking creatures?
Ken, what are you thinking?
Please don't. Please don't let Lena be here. Please don't let Lena be around.
That's
Please don't
all-
let Lena be around. That's all you're hearing.
That's
in his-
the only thing you hear. He's just like you're panicking from Ken.
But apart from that, it's fine, okay. At least for now, we seem to be alone. Once
So
we're
after
inside the
that,
room,
you
it's
hear a
gonna be fine.
whoo, and then you inside his brain hear a whoo.
Just a slightly delayed. Yeah. The spell stops directly after that. We'll be entering the room,
Yep.
and while we're inside, while entering, I'll have my hand on the doorknob, or whatever else we have here. And just because I haven't done that yet, but it seems absolutely necessary, arcane lock on my door.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
There's a Twitch scammer in the chat.
Dude, every
It
few
happens.
hours does it. It's a
I
bot.
know. I've already reported the account.
Okay, come.
yeah, just let them do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, the point is, board scans show me that apart from the two of us, there's no one in here. This room is isolated against divination, and apart from Plucky, I don't think there's anyone on the ship that's capable of opening this lock.
Alright.
So, how may I help?
Well, you could tell he's at this point he's getting very flustered as to what he's at this point. It's more being flustered.
Mm.
It's like, oh, you see, it's about Lena.
Okay.
I was hoping to do some do something super special for her. And depending on how things go, maybe pop the question. If you know what I mean.
I think I do.
And I figured since we can't exactly physically go to a place where I've want to take her, then it might be a better idea if there's anything in a magical sense that we could potentially recreate a certain place on this world,
So,
as well as a specific food that she likes.
so you're asking me for a location, or at least a simulation of one.
Yeah. Or if that's even a possibility.
I have created terrains before. It's been, well, months by now. I don't have much bigger of a time scale. But I'm sure magic can provide all kinds of simulations, depending on what you need.
Mm-hmm.
A good example / explanation, of course, would make it easier. If you know what you're looking for, I'm sure I can make it. Somehow.
Well, you see, there's this mountain range in this homeland. It doesn't really have a specific name, but it's the highest mountain in that part. And they use it for astrogazing. She says the way she's described it, it's one of the most scenic places. But it's also in her homeland, which she has specifically stated that the only reason she would want to go back is, well, to kill everybody who's wronged her, leave it burning. Which we'll get to that. Hopefully, to get to that. However, I would think that having a nice scenic setting to what I plan on asking her would be at the very least a gesture, showing that I both care as well as willing to remember things about her.
So far, this is a pretty vague description.
Apparently, it has many different names depending on the residences. It doesn't have an official name. It's she calls it home.
Araxis?
Hmm?
Name or describe a person, place, or object.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh,
Would
what?
the amount of information provided by Ken be enough to determine that it is a real place for the purpose of casting Legend Lore to get an image of it?
Whew. Yes. Yes, it would. Because technically, you can just recount by hearsay as well. So gathering the facts as you were told and knowing the people you told, yeah, you could.
Yeah, I'd be taking like a handful of incense, And with a gesture that slightly looks like activating like a zipper, like the what's it called? Whatever. A lighter. Just a small cloud of smoke emerges and just drills itself into my head.
Yeah. So you wish
I think
to
I got an
know?
idea.
Roll me 4d100s, if you will. Oh my god.
67.
Oh god. Are you ready to write some stuff down?
Mhm.
Give me just a sec. I have to go use the restroom real quick because I want to hear this.
I'm gonna
Okay.
take a swig of water to end.
I'll take the second to light up my room.
Because I can go a bit longer than usual. I don't know how the rest of you feeling, but
I'm fine. But I won't be able to. Actually, I'll need to be at a different place in a few hours.
oh, in a
If
few
I
hours.
wear a headset for too long for some fucking reason, it feels like my hair is sticking off the side of my head at 90-degree angles.
The unfortunate thing about this current chair is whenever I move in it, for some reason, when I get up, it'll just have my. It pulls my underwear down inside my pants.
I'm not going to question that
It's weird.
sentence.
It's weird. Actually, now that there's dress quotes.
By the way, funnily enough, that's on stream in session 69.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, there's. Hey, you know what? I'll be right back as well.
Take your time.
Oh yeah, roll me an insight. Like the boy.
All right. Sorry about that.
Okay, Raxus will be back in a second. He's also taking the chance.
What was that for?
that? He asked me to roll insight.
Ah.
So, yeah. We will be getting information, I will be getting an image, and from there I can recreate whatever you need.
There we go. Just I'm hoping that the mountain that you mentioned, where, you know,
Most likely, it'll be within our travels. We'll be getting to it in our travels, anyways, at some point
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
I have a certain brother called Ash. He seems to be hiding in that fucking place.
So,
Well,
Also,
Or at least close by.
also, when we encounter the Archprophet, I'm probably gonna need to borrow the RPG that's in the ship.
so, Ken, are you present?
I am.
Also,
Were they-
only
were they in a
Legends
room
lore
together?
is only Legend lore accessible to you, right? Only you can witness the outcome of it, right?
Directly, yes.
Okay.
But I can, of course, relay the information.
Oh, it's gonna be some heavy things to relay. So, as you
Wow,
focus
I
on
see-
the
I see
thing, as you think about the information you gathered and try to pinpoint on what it could mean, before you opens up a vast desert to your left and to your right, as you're going somewhere incorporeally, and you see a jagged mountain of glass. In surrounding areas, you see a massive single stretch of glass from to the left to the right, miles thick and countless of miles long. You know, Lecter, that this is the hallway of glass, one of the byproducts of the scorched line. In it lies a single tower, maybe 400, 500 feet tall that seems like a jagged spire of glass shards put together. As you get closer, you see that there's like a small settlement of sorts. You see a handful of humans setting up camp, speaking with the backseat. It dawns on you as you start to float up that this thing does not have a name because nobody has given it, but it has a name. As you float naturally up to the spire, you start to see countless of souls essentially impaled in these spikes, level through level, through floor through floor, every dozen or so feet, you start to see through the ages from simple minded peasants to fully fledged knights and sorcerers with power probably unknown, impaled, wailing in pain. Their pain has risen upwards, and each spectre kind of lingers on with you as you float up. A voice echoes through your mind as you reach the top. On it, you see a handful of merchants, 2 halflings and 1 human are discussing some sort of deal about a transaction of sorts. And then you see a very well-groomed human, or maybe an ASMR, that has some sort of telescope and is just surveying the sky. The voice says to you, "This is Virga's judgment. For this world has been judged for its mistakes, and the punishment for it has been delivered. Only once the world realizes its mistakes, the scar will subside. But until then, the world would groan in pain and flinch in agony." What you also see is almost immediately a handful of as you're just observing the just this discussion, all of a sudden a portal comes through with a lich, a dwarf, a human in black cladded armor, what seems to be a fairy of sorts, half bee, half fairy, and a very particular elf that seems to be half a dragonborn or some sort of mixture of dragon blood, as they seem to want to have a word with the man behind the telescope, and your vision fades. You're back at your room. You see Kendall there.
I was roughly describing what I was seeing. So, want to get a look at it?
Do I want to get a look at it?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Lecter, I will be saying I won't be teleporting you. I will be taking a safe route for now. Lecter is like manifesting a small item that looks like a silver key. It's just an illusion, honestly. He grabs it, goes to the door that exits the room. That is the exit to the room. Turns the key. The door lights up for a moment, and then he opens up the room. And it's just like black smoke. After you, please.
Hesitate for just a half second, but there's like, oh, okay. And then goes through.
Inside is a rough recreation of the area, not the details, just like the physical layout. It's like, do you know these giant snow globes? Like that. So you're more or less surveying a part of the area, shielded by a thin veil from the outside, and the ground itself is like a coarse sand, like a form of gravel almost. This is the general shape to the place. The thing that makes it interesting, of course, is the background. Like the snaps' fingers, casts Mirage Arcane. And inside the area, you literally see like a veil unfolding. And the normal area turns into as accurate as of a recreation of this place as I can possibly make it.
Yeah. You have more than enough to look around, so you can easily recreate it.
Looks
So-
around, it's like, it's a do. Now there's the other minor detail. As you can cast this another time, right?
Of course. As often as you need.
There's a particular delicacy that she absolutely adores. It is Rumodorge, the liver, or the raw kidney of the greater armadillo, a resident of the parts that this takes place in.
Okay.
Is there any way to accurately recreate that?
There would be. But I would need to get my hands on either a real one, like a real object, or in the case of, well, some sort of food, a recreation of it. For example, Lecter just like reaches out his hand and you see reality itself slightly folding apart. It's kind of like drawing back a slight veil. It's like a pocket in space. And the equivalent of a small mage hand comes out and hands him a platter with a dino steak, the thing that Rock ate in the Platinum Sea City. Comes out. I've seen enough of this thing to be able to recreate it, but this description of this specific item is, well, at least for now, bare bones. So, if you want me to, I can put some research into it and get an equivalent. But it may require some time.
How much
to
time do
get
you
it
reckon?
right. Depending on my luck, I could do it either tonight or tomorrow. If we get unlucky, I have to go there myself. And seeing the situation and the people.
And if I were to
there,
help?
it's less about the difficulty of the mission and more about problems of convenience. My plan for now would be an attempt at divination. Just as I've seen this place, with enough detail, I may be able to get a similar effect for food, but I doubt it, since the spells I normally use for this are not designed for this kind of use. But I know a few places across the world that might be able to help.
Yep. He just looks like, do needs what you need to do, because this would be very greatly appreciated, and would owe you big time.
I will keep that in mind. But yeah. Honestly, we've been through a lot, and a slight change of pace for once might not be too bad. The last few weeks have been pretty stressful, so
I think that's an understatement there, bud.
it just works like this nowadays. Anyway. Yeah.
I'll let you work on that then. Let me know if you need anything else from me.
He said it was the raw kidney of a great armadillo that inhabits this specific area.
Yeah,
Virgus Judgment or the Hallway of Glass.
yes. Just the whole way of glass in general.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. And in that sense, if I don't get anything tonight, I will be making a small attempt at it in a few. If I don't get anything tonight, I most likely will go looking on a certain market tomorrow. If you want to, you and Ravan can join me.
I just have
Of course.
I have a question immediately, Lecter. I'm
Mm.
gonna just message Tara.
He's one of the people.
Oh, cool.
Tasha is one of them, and of course, a bunch of the people at the great market that we've been to quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I will be getting that kind of delicacy there, but you can at least try. But that's something for tomorrow. Damn.
Yeah, we have a birthday party to go to.
Do we?
Hey, that's what we were doing over there. When you came back in. You're probably wondering where we buggered off to.
I assumed that Zan had his usual fill of drinks and decided to make it a bit more public than usual.
Yep. That's true. Not wrong.
So I assume it is an anniversary then.
Oh, this birth, yeah. Might want to make a note of that one then, depending on how long we all stay.
Yeah. Maybe.
And with that side motion out, it's like, oh, then shall we?
I will follow you in a bit.
Alright. I'm gonna start making my way
So,
back to the party.
Every rest parts of the ship are empty. Everybody's in the tavern. Everybody celebrates Zan's birthday. And everybody's wishing happy birthday. Either be in German, Russian, or French. Or common, or abyssal, or
Also Celestial.
yeah.
As thrown in there.
Yeah. As the place is full with everyone. Everyone is there. Except for Sveta. She's nowhere to be seen. I mean, you didn't look for her, but you went.
Every party needs a pooper. Anyways, you were saying?
Everybody's drinking. Everybody's there. Even Pablo and Jack.
No, why would you give Zan's potent alcohol to my Albia? Do you know what will happen?
Combustion. And it's fun.
Interesting enough, when the bear consumes alcohol, all of a sudden the alcohol just ignites.
No, really, Sherlock.
Dang.
There's a little fire toot coming out of it
Yeah.
eventually.
Someone was standing there now has singed here.
So yeah. If anything you like to do for the evening, I'll tell you that you've been spending at a birthday party.
And we've got 2 days of downtime as well.
Yeah. So
Did that before. I'm wondering why you haven't got on the map here Dawn as a singed dot.
it's still present.
I
So-
know, but you haven't got it as a burnt up singed dot.
It's radiated,
Yeah.
not singed.
Oh, it's a radio. Okay.
Yes. So,
That's why it's green.
so, yeah. So, is anybody doing anything specific that they want to do in the party at all?
I would be arriving late after one last attempt at legend lore for the night.
What is the
You and I, me and Lena are going to be sharing drinks and just having, keeping each other company.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Having fun as usual.
Yeah.
yeah.
Relatively
What's your idea?
peaceful, relatively calm. The music is provided by the ghastly crew of Zan. Fucking quite an orchestra he has. But what is Electra's thing that you wish to?
A delicacy of the hallway of glass, the raw kidney of the great armadillo.
Okay.
I do not need a full story about this like we did with the desert just now.
Yeah. No, what you basically get is almost like a image in the middle of the night of a giant armadillo that is like 15 feet long and like 10 feet wide. It got open and you see a handful of tabaxi guarding it. And you basically see what seems to be is like a red bean, like a large bean the size of a watermelon, and it has this very light, almost translucent fat on it. And yeah, you see what it is. You see it and you understand what it is. It's a delicacy. You know that it is edible, like it's not poisonous at all, and you can eat it raw, and that it's quite nice.
Does that include what it tastes like?
Yes, for Electra, it would include what it tastes like. It tastes like a medium red steak with a strong but very pleasant nut flavor.
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that. And with that image burnt into my head, I would also be heading out for the night to wish Zan a happy birthday and to join into the celebration. Also trying to make sure that Evanor doesn't kill anyone.
No, Eleanor's just kind of eyeing everyone, and not in corn, but like just by the door, just eyeing, and eventually seeing that Zan is by the bar, providing drinks and all, and celebrating. Eventually, he goes there and takes the shot himself, even though he takes it. He kind of gives like a hand, and kind of shakes it, nods. And he immediately walks back in the same corner.
Found our edgelord.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no.
Eventually, I'd come over to say, "I'll say you found the brooding corner."
It was my turn to be in the edgy brooding corner.
I don't actually do that. I'm just making that as a joke.
Like you walk over, put your hand on his shoulder, chit chat.
Get a fucking banned through the gut.
No, you get like he's so itchy, you actually get cut on your hand.
He's like a walking cloud of daggers.
Yeah. So yeah, you all have a wonderful night. And Zvita was not seen throughout the night. Yeah, I would like everybody to roll me a con saving throw except for Lecter. Scrumpy factor.
Yes, that video. I honestly think this is Zan in a nutshell.
Oh shit. Yeah. I'm just enjoying the scenery.
Spark of.
Also, I would be using. Actually, I still have one more. Nice. I would be using my second to last 7th level spell slots to recast the Magnificent Mansion that is usually used by the Germans
Uh-huh.
in the broom closet, so they have a place to sleep at afterwards.
Yeah.
Because my experiment overrode.
So,
That's previous experiment.
Revan, con save. Hello?
He's already out.
Really?
Yep, completely blacked out.
Okay. Goddamn. Okay. So,
He failed tremendously.
you have a pleasant night and you have about 36 to 38 hours of free time. As eventually all of you wake up and you realize half the people who were in the party actually are in the tavern, and half of the other half is like in the hallway.
It's like I'm probably laying on top of my
Bear.
my owlbear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one guy who unfortunately had a broom shoved up his ass.
Not questioning that part.
How far did me and Letta get to our room?
Yes.
I would say you were a trooper. You're one of the people who actually made it. With a furry free, you fucking made it. Because I feel like
carried her all the way to the bed.
I feel like if it wasn't for the subject of today, you might have given it, but you were like, no. Get to bed, then pass out.
Yep.
But yeah. For lecture, my boy. Yeah, you wake up to a mess. Ken is nowhere to be seen. Revan is just fucking blacked out on his owl bear.
I was gonna say cuddling the owl bear.
Evanor is
Picturing like this.
Evanor is just in the same corner, but this time just on a chair.
Actually, this entire image is perfect. It perfectly describes the.
Yeah.
Maybe.
This is probably how it.
We're not further questioning that.
So lecturer, the first thing you kind of see when you, I guess, where you would be, because you don't.
I think I was watching most of this until at some point I wanted to go, but realized that at this point the hallway was so full that I literally couldn't.
Yeah.
So I just decided to sit down on one of the benches and just took my sentry's rest there.
Okay. So, about in the morning when you almost wake up and you can see the dawn is rising, you just see Zvita from above just making her way down the hallway, stepping over the drunk and the defeated. And then kind of looks at you as she walks by, but does not say anything. Unless you, of course, say anything.
So, where have you been?
on the deck.
For the entire last day?
She nods.
Well, certainly is a different viewpoint. Honestly, do as you wish.
She kind of nods and walks by you. So, Revan, can you just roll me a con save? I just want to check.
One moment.
If you're all natural, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass off.
Sweet, con save.
If you're rolling that one, you're the guy with the broom.
No! Oh no! Plucky's gonna have a field day. Let's go.
No, Plutty's the one with the broom. Seriously,
The one
con
who put the
save.
broom there.
Yeah, you're
Eleven.
you're out. I'll tell you when you
Yeah,
wake
no.
up. But yeah, you, Evanor and Lecter are the only ones who are most, I guess, alive and present. The rest are just fucking dead. But as minutes to hours pass since the morning dawns, more and more people start to grunt, and more people rise up. Ken, you
Head
are...
count. Who's alive?
Yeah. Yeah, Ken, you wake up, surprising without any sensation of a headache or anything. You feel kind of tired, but that's besides it. You look at Lena. She's fucking past that. To the point that you thought for a second that she's not breathing.
Just really slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. Yeah. So, you got downtime. Try to figure out what you want to do with it.
I think, if possible, I would be waiting for Zan to wake up.
Okay.
And my first question would be, do you need help cleaning up?
Takes if you actually try to like wake him up immediately.
No, I'm waiting for him. I'm just watching the spectacle until he wakes up. If this takes more than 4 hours, I would stop and just do something else. in the meantime.
Okay. 3 hours pass, and more than half of the people have woken up and are, making their way out. Rabbit is still passed out. Same as the owl there. Ken is doing his own thing, I guess, whatever he wants to do. And at that point, at about 3 hour mark, Zan just kind of snores loud, kind of wakes himself up.
What would be unfortunate is if, the Albus had to wake up and then rot its out of the room by a flame jet outlets.
And it
That's
kind
good to
of
do.
Just on top.
it kind of yawns and looks at a surrounding area and looks at you and kind of almost like flinches, but then hi.
Wait, the Albia.
No.
No,
Zan is talking to Lecter.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is a new record for the biggest party I've experienced in my life.
So far, wait until we get to a dock. Oh, we get the whole coast going. Shit, wait, we were in the coast history. Fuck. He kind of scratches himself. Well, I would say that was adequate. I hope you had fun.
Well, it's a bit of a different experience from my end, but still, it's entertaining in its own right. since a lot of the people are still working on accepting what happened last night, mostly physically, just wanted to ask, do you need any help cleaning this up?
Oh, yes, I most definitely do. Holy shit. He kind of looks around.
That's... Yeah. I could be an asshole now and just haste him and walk away.
Oh my god.
I would actually be going around and once you can walk again, I would be assisting for like roughly until midday to get this place back into shape. It's part of my job as well to keep this thing okay.
Okay. So Ken, what are you doing?
Just taking my time with the just getting out of bed, just making sure letting Lena sleep, and then I'm gonna be eventually, if she's not out by the time I'm back, by the time I'm done, I'm just gonna be heading out, just looking, figuring out what to do.
Alrighty.
Probably make my way down into the workshop, see if they've had any progress in making any more black tips.
Nobody's in the capacity to do anything.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
You could be an absolute buzzkill right now and just cast healing spells.
So, yeah, nobody's operational. The fucking whole operation is now, kind of, everybody's waking up totally to go to bed. But eventually, Revan, you wake up and you feel the immense sensation of heat. As you're kind of sleeping, almost like hugging the bear to the side.
But then when I wake up, I feel the heat and I just slip off, and then I made this clip quickly. Just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it's like if you played it, it's like that's what happens. Just the noise.
Well, so
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I just hit the floor. I'm like Melissa, who shoved the broom up that guy's ass?
Not further questioning that. Lecter says as he's juggling a bunch of things using telepathy.
Okay. I don't think it was alcohol that knocked me out. It was just pure exhaustion. At least the heat from my albeit burnt off all the coal dust.
I hope it didn't burn off anything else. I recommend checking your clothes.
Don't worry, my eyebrows are still here, I think.
Wasn't just referring to those.
Yeah. No, I think I'm fine. Anyway, well, let's look. Man, this place is a mess. Well, I'm gonna see if I can get some training in with my Albert, see if I can get him trained with some combat maneuvers, just so later on I can have him as a companion. He's already getting this big, so might as well.
That is your decision. It would be easier to have more people cleaning up, but I think getting that thing
Well,
out of here right now would not be too well
yeah.
either.
Yeah. Come on, but don't.
Oh, you gotta
Still
actually,
half asleep.
are you gonna actually try to pick up the owl there?
No, I'm trying to wake him up while I'm trying to lift him.
Roll me a D100.
Oh, crap. 67.
He is knocked out.
Oh, come on.
I
I
love
wish
it.
we still had Rod here.
So, what is everybody doing? At the moment, it's about, well, Lecter is just cleaning up. So, Ken, what would you like to do?
Well, if I see him over, it's like, hey, did you get it?
I did.
Not Alice. Excellent. So, and then it's like, look around, it's like, do you need help?
Help is always appreciated. The more people partied, the more people should clean up.
I'll then go ahead and help where I can.
Okay. So, and Revan, you don't get the owlbear. What would you like to do? Your head is like, each step you take, you just feel a pulse go through your head. It's not a good sensation, my good sir. It is.
Okay, I need to. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Apart from when everyone's sober and not unconscious, I'm going to try. Like I said, like after everyone's woken up and that, I'm going to attempt to do some training with my albeit just for the coordinated attacks and.
I just
See
see
if
this
I can-
mental
yeah.
image where you just try to do this, but the owl there is like mostly still asleep.
Just what, like the eyes closing, like there's like the the right eye and then the left eye independently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Attack,
And-
it's
and
6. Well, we got set.
Also, we've got a target dummy set up, and it's just like it's like okay, attack this. Just yawns, and then fire comes out, and then immediately incinerates the dummy.
Yeah. Don't expect too much directly from a hangover, especially not from a pet.
Yeah.
That has all
It
kinds of
should've burned-
implications.
It should have
Implications that
burned
I'm not
off
gonna
the
get into.
alcohol. It really should
Should've.
have burned off the alcohol.
It's a pet, it should never have had alcohol to begin with. Anyway,
I know.
that is your deal.
Hey, it's not my fault the Russians decided to give it alcohol.
On the other end, though, Ravan, on a slightly
Yes.
more serious note, regarding yesterday,
Oh, yes, that. Yes, that.
we do have the knowledge now that there's people that are after you, right?
I knew that from the get-go, I just didn't know that many of them were in this world. And
Interested in stocking up?
yeah. Would I have received the transcription from you? Because you said you were going to write it down, what they were talking about? From Abyssal to...
Not in the
comment?
sense of literally writing it down, in the sense of telling you while I was
Yeah.
listening to it.
So, we've got an army heading our way.
And even though we are mostly prepared, can be expanded upon.
Considering what we did to that ancient dragon. Yeah, no, I think we're good in that regard.
Your choice.
But
We happen to still have a lot of funds and access
Yeah,
to
no.
places.
do you think a lot of those guys that are following me equipped with weapons might be a good idea. Like, considering, like, yes, we can potentially take on an army ourselves, and with the armaments we've got aboard this ship, that would also be a benefit, but...
On the topic of the people that are following you,
yeah, we need to
have you
get
noticed anything weird about them?
apart from the language they speak,
Mm.
they've been... well, they haven't really talked to me much, even though I can't understand them. I'm trying to see if I can get the new Dunkirkians to modify the translator. But they seem to be getting along well with everyone else, despite the language barrier. The ones you call the Russians, I don't know why they're getting along well with them. Maybe because they just abandoned their old beliefs because they realized that it was not going to work out well for them. So they're starting anew. Makes the most sense to me. Similar to my change of pace. I got brought into that circus by my father after I escaped, and that widened my horizons. Made me realize that my life is not set. I get to choose. So that's why I
That is a
gave
good
them...
point. The thing is, just as the archipelago is unpredictable in forms of topography and landscape, it is also unpredictable in terms of people.
Yeah.
Of course, we meet people with strange behaviors and strange languages.
Yes,
Sometimes
because...
even eldritch or impossible knowledge, like the new Dunkirkians. But there's also the option of expanding using the archipelago. For example, Ken is a good example of this. The world he comes from doesn't have magic.
Yeah.
But he adapted pretty well.
Yeah.
And what I'm asking is whether you've seen any traces of magic within the ranks of your followers. Because this is...
I have not been taking note of that.
If you see anything in the future... If you see anything in the future, please tell me about it. Because
I'll
some of
start
these
taking
can
notes.
reach incredible powers.
Yes, like... is
On
it
the other
possible
hand,
for an individual from another world that had no magic to begin with to suddenly manifest these powers like a sorcerer?
it does. It is possible. It often manifests as almost like a sickness. There are examples where magic just breaks out in sometimes...
What, like a rash?
Not a rash, more like a cold, more or less. An example of this would be a person from Norn that I met, a bookkeeper that had almost like an allergic reaction, sneezing literal fire. Something that has been dormant inside that other world, but this potential for sorcery was awakened by entering this world.
Is this in relation to the weird thing that happened yesterday? Because I know you just stopped in your tracks suddenly and then turned on your true seeing.
Not directly. It's been a thing I've been thinking about for a while now. Because one of the things that this ship has that still don't feel quite right to me is the fact that we have almost a dozen different societies and creatures in this area. But they're not connected.
Yeah.
They do drink and eat together, sometimes communicate.
Zan interjects, saying, "No, they have something that connects them.
Alcohol doesn't count.
You."
That is true.
Yeah.
Our group is
We-
a form of bridge.
We brought them together. We've given them a life better than they had.
That is up for debate, honestly.
Well,
In some cases.
given the state of the place we got all those soldiers from,
And then Zan is like, "Yeah, also remember I was stuck in an island for 2 centuries, forever bound there."
So you were in the same boat as me, but except I was in my prison for 10 years.
Just gonna shrugs.
Sure, there are things that have changed a lot for the better, for most of them.
Yeah.
And
I know I've changed
in this
quite
sense,
a bit.
because I still feel that we sometimes interact like alien towards one another, I want to try bringing the people closer together. And
Yeah.
in the sense that, just like with Norn and Ken and the people of Norn, it might be possible that the people here experience a similar situation. And that shouldn't be something that is drowned. Adapting to a new world is incredibly harsh. So aiding that development should be something we can deal with. Same with
Yes.
normalization of language. The new Dunkirkians have already made great efforts in that sense, translating their
Good.
language into ours. And
If we can do it so that they translate other languages, heck, we could even attempt to see if they can translate Celestial or even Infernal.
You all of a sudden just hear a sudden cough as Zan went under the bar, and then he grabs what seems to be another shot glass and grabs
Really?
a bottle.
First thing in the morning, you're already drinking.
He kind of looks at you with like not a guilty at all conscience, and then looks at you, Lecter, as he pours a drink and says, "How many of everyone you gathered have suffered a worse fate than they are currently now?" Because I mean, I was quite in an awful situation.
ends on a worse situation. Being literally torn out of your own world is always horrible.
The soldiers we got, they were marching to their deaths. Did you like looking at the Russian defense? All those soldiers, if they had reached that river, would have been gunned down instantly. There wouldn't be
strangely meta, but yeah.
No. But so taking them from that, take them away from the commanders who seemed ready to kill themselves, like as to throw themselves upon a wall of guns.
Well, Lucky kidnapped the Soviet high command.
I'm still mad at him about that. I know he's got that stupid list of his, which actually came as a benefit to me yesterday, but once he completes that list, I really want to kill him, just on principle.
Good luck on that.
Yes, that'd be I know it's practically impossible, but if after all this is over, and we go our separate ways. I do not want him occasionally popping up and pissing me off.
There's different ways to deal with that, you know that.
I know.
If he's pissing you off, make him your friend. Once you embrace the fact that he is like this, you stop being annoyed at it. Worked for me at least.
Yeah. Also, I
Still.
like the new look.
Honestly,
You know what? You know what? This is fitting. This is fitting. Look at what I rolled in D100.
Nice.
perfect. Nice.
I rolled a very
And-
specific. I rolled a very specific thing.
What, to determine if Riven's pansexual or something?
Perhaps.
Fatal roll checks.
No. As all of a sudden, I see pouring of glasses. Like he pours a glass for himself, for you, Revan, and for you, Lecter, if you wish, because he kind of like hesitates.
I'm just here listening, by the way.
Yeah. And then he kind of like grabs his drink, kind of gives like a cheer to you, and he almost like downs it, and then he kind of looks to the side, like where the hallway is, and kind of points a finger. It's like, who'd that be?
I
You
turn to look.
that is Revan,
Oh dear.
the Sapphire Revan.
Oh. You.
Didn't take long for you to get here.
You see,
Is the army at our door?
no, they're not.
Good. Don't worry if I have a drink.
I slide over my glass that has been untouched so far.
We have much to discuss.
Okay, coming closer to this, you see Revan. This looks like an actual opposite of you. Just by the way he walks cautiously with no confidence. He glances all around in fear as he walks over.
You're with friends here. You don't need to be all cautious in that. Trust me on this. It pays to have an open mind.
You and I are in a very complex situation.
Yes. It's like looking in the mirror. Sort of.
Maybe.
So,
Does my mirror
Where's
have
Fred?
this as he kind of pushes his clothes, revealing his left shoulder, and you see what seemed to be a mirrored image of your scar on your right shoulder, but this one is glowing in this cool bluish light.
I reveal my scar to compare. Looks like exact mirror image, except I've got a red eye, you've got a blue one.
He kind of clutches his hand on his forehead. He takes a deep sigh. So what now?
So,
Just saying,
well,
you were looking for someone to share a specific place with.
well,
Actually, you know what? I don't know that. Good point.
I'm not going to tell you because, well, I don't see a point in doing it. Because we're the same person. I don't want to be killing myself. Anyway. But I do have a question. Are exact copy of me, as in a clone, or not from this world?
He just shrugs. I don't know.
What's the last memory you have before arriving here?
He kind of pauses and kind of looks at the glass. Honestly, have no clue.
Well, what do we call you?
Eh.
Riven 2, Riven Blue.
My name is Revan, but so is yours.
Since you're like a mirror of me, I wonder, what if you flip your name? Never.
Absolutely not.
Or never. Never.
Like the sitting in the background. Absolutely not. Last name should be easy enough.
I love the fact that Ken is like, what the fuck is going on?
He's like a what the hell?
Oh yeah, Chen.
This is a good point. He hasn't realized.
Yeah!
There's just only two of them.
So Chen, missing context, Lecter and I found out where the cultists were coming from, and we saw this guy.
We
And
saw
now
you.
he's come to talk to us. Yeah.
By the way, just in general, like more or less like looking over our Ravan's shoulder.
Uh-huh.
Why are you here and how did you get here?
Oh, that was going to be my second question.
Unannounced visitors tend to have a bad reputation at this place, so just want to make sure.
Just because I am the way that I am doesn't mean I'm not powerful. I traveled here.
That's... Well, we're almost identical.
You're
I
not
see.
powerful. Hey,
Hey.
I didn't say that.
Well, it's odd. I haven't experienced something like this before. The only version of myself I've had to fight was just in my own head, but no,
Maybe
this is so.
maybe something has been taken from you. Weakness.
Many things have been taken from me in multiple senses. I used to have wonderful, beautiful wings, and then they removed them. I wonder how things
As you
could have gone.
look over, you see from his right shoulder pristine bluish feathers sprout out. One does not resemble of a ASMR, but one of a rock.
Interesting. Whereas I'm half god, technically. You're half demon, it seems.
Maybe I'm also half a god, or a half a moral. Maybe I'm just more.
We're half many things.
He just kind of shrugs and nods.
I have claims that you can be more than half of two different things at the same time.
I know it's improper fractions. I've had people yell at me about that before. Shut up later.
I'll leave you guys to it.
Yeah.
I will like give you a pat on the shoulder and just head out.
Hmm. It's still. It was a little bit unnerving when I first saw you in that vision. And then understanding how they spoke of you. Seems you're not as loyal as they want you to be. Which is a benefit. But it's nice to know that my face is no longer unique.
Maybe. He kind of looks down at the glass. Sad
Cheers.
yeah. He kind of grabs it, looks at it, almost puzzled, and kind of looks at you, kind of clings it, and then drinks it, and almost has like
Yeah,
immediate.
we drink it the exact same time.
Yeah, and but while you fully drink it, he almost has like a recoil sensation of just spitting it out.
First time having a drink.
Ugh, what the fuck? Ah! Sad
He
looks displeased. He says nothing,
Yeah.
but he has a look of like, there was some.
He makes some really strong stuff.
I thought this was water. What?
Yeah.
It is water. It is commonly referred to as fire water.
It does
Not
sound.
bad.
It. So,
Like, I'm already far away.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
with that we could call it because it's been 3.5 hours. Unless you want to continue.
No, I'm fine right now. It gives me some
leave it
time
on
to plan.
Leave it on the
69.
Two Rivens talking to
Two
each other.
Ravens talking to each other in a session
God.
69.
I'm fine.
Ugh.
Yep. I'm fine with leaving it there. Do the rest of my plans in a next
Hey,
episode or two.
just FYI, you got a day and a half of downtime
Yeah.
to figure out
Yeah.
what you want to do, and then you're gonna be in Ligna, finally.
One fun side note, I don't know if this was your intention, Araxis. 69 is the number of Gemini. The twins.
Hey,
Oh no.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm just too subtle.
Gosh.
It's too subtle. Anyway, anything you want to say before I'm shutting the stream down with no survivors? Go.
Nice.
Very tame,
Very.
but penis.
And TOS bad.
Two ribbons don't make a right. Actually, that's going in quotes.